It is 2 o'clock in the morning, the room is dead silent, and you are clinging to the outer 3 inches of your mattress like a mountaineer trapped on a ledge. Tucked into the center of the bed, dead to the world, is your dog. They have somehow expanded their body mass to occupy 80% of a king-sized quilt, paws twitching against your ribs, chin resting heavily on your pillow. In the exhausted haze of the middle of the night, you have likely told yourself the standard, comfortable lies about this behavior, assuming they are just cold or acting on habit. But what if every single time your dog steps onto that mattress, they are executing a precise, biologically programmed strategy? What if that heavy weight pressing against your legs is not a request for comfort, but the final step in a multi-millennium neurochemical protocol designed to keep you both alive? To understand what happens in the dark while you sleep, we must strip away the cozy domesticity of the modern bedroom and look inside the mind of the predator lying next to you. For decades, animal behaviorists treated the human-dog relationship as a simple transactional exchange of calories for compliance. But researchers at Eötvös University in Budapest proved this view is fundamentally backward. By putting adult dogs through the psychological stress tests used on human infants, known as the Ainsworth Strange Situation Framework, scientists tracked how canine nervous systems react to unfamiliar rooms, sudden isolation, and the eventual return of their owners. The data revealed something that shook comparative biology. When exposed to the unknown, dogs do not look for escape routes or food. They look exclusively for you. They exhibit the 3 classic hallmarks of human-infant bonding: proximity seeking, acute separation distress, and immediate physiological calming the second they are reunited with their primary caregiver. Even more striking was the anchor statistic the Budapest team uncovered. Exactly 61% of the dogs tested demonstrated a securely attached behavioral profile. That is the exact, identical statistical ratio found in human toddlers bonding with their mothers. When your dog climbs into your bed and presses their spine against your shins, they are operating on a fundamental law of developmental biology, communicating through the geometry of their posture that out of everything in the physical universe, you are the safest entity in their entire world. That feeling of safety is a measurable, self-sustaining pharmaceutical event happening inside both of your skulls simultaneously. When a study published in the journal Science by Japan's Azabu University mapped human canine neurochemistry, they captured a feedback mechanism previously thought to exist only between a mother and her newborn. It relies entirely on oxytocin, the bonding molecule responsible for deep social trust and the downregulation of fear. When your dog looks up at you from the foot of the bed and you meet their eyes, your brain releases a spike of oxytocin. That surge causes your facial muscles to soften, a physical shift your dog's nervous system instantly reads, triggering an equal mirrored surge of oxytocin in their own brain. This creates an infinite gaze loop where your affection literally manufactures their peace of mind. To prove this bond's exclusivity, the Japanese researchers attempted the exact same experiment using wolves raised by humans from birth. The wolves looked at the humans, but the oxytocin loop remained completely flat. Their brains registered the caretakers as familiar companions, but never as family.
Your dog's biology has been permanently rewired to require you.
When they settle their chin onto your knee, just 10 minutes of sustained physical contact causes a precipitous drop in circulating cortisol levels for both species, shutting down your internal alarm systems and physiologically preparing both bodies for deep, restorative sleep. To appreciate the gravity of that shared sedation, you have to realize that this bedtime routine was forged in some of the most unforgiving environments in human history. Rewind 15,000 years, long before farming, written language, or stone cities. Picture a freezing Paleolithic valley at midnight, where early humans huddle around a fragile campfire, surrounded by the absolute darkness of an untamed world. Lurking at the edge of the firelight are the silhouettes of wild wolves, locked in a daily competition with humans for scarce protein. For these 2 apex predators to bridge that lethal divide required an extraordinary leap of interspecies empathy. We know this from a 14,000-year-old burial site discovered in Bonn-Oberkassel, Germany. Inside that ancient grave, archaeologists found the skeleton of a young dog buried alongside 2 humans. Forensic analysis revealed a profound reality. The animal had contracted a crippling case of canine distemper as a puppy, a virus that should have killed it within days. Instead, early humans spent 5 agonizing weeks cleaning its mouth and nursing it through its fever until it survived. That ancient human instinct to protect a vulnerable creature echoed deep into the canine genome, eventually landing on chromosome 6. Modern geneticists discovered that domestic dogs carry unique genetic insertions on this specific chromosome, mutations dictating extreme hypersociability, which wild wolves completely lack. We did not merely capture an animal and teach it to tolerate our campfires. Over thousands of years of shared winters, humans literally rewrote their DNA to need human presence. This genetic drive brings us to a perplexing contradiction in modern sleep medicine. If you look strictly at hard diagnostic data gathered by institutions like the Mayo Clinic, sleeping with a dog is an objective disaster for human rest. Motion sensors prove that dogs scratch, twitch, and rotate dozens of times a night, objectively disrupting human sleep cycles. Yet when you examine psychological data, including a 2024 study out of the University of Jyväskylä in Finland, an immense majority of owners report feeling significantly more secure and rested when their pet is in the bed. The secret behind this paradox lies in an autonomic mechanism known as heart rate variability co-regulation. When a bonded dog rests its flank against your body, your central nervous systems open a subconscious dialogue. Your brain registers their rhythmic respiration, and your vagus nerve responds by downshifting your sympathetic nervous system, literally synchronizing your heart's rhythm with theirs. Put an unfamiliar human in that exact spot on your mattress, and your subconscious will treat them as a potential threat, spiking your heart rate. But when a bonded dog rests beside you, your ancient biology recognizes a dedicated sentinel, granting you the rare prehistoric luxury of turning off your internal radar completely. Because sleeping by your side is anchored in the oldest layers of their biology, any sudden departure from this routine is a silent klaxon demanding your immediate, compassionate attention. If your dog has spent years wedging themselves into the crook of your knees, and over the course of a few weeks they begin choosing the cold, hardwood floor of the hallway instead, do not mistake it for a streak of independence. In the canine world, a sudden stop in sleeping beside you is never random. The first and most urgent warning to investigate is hidden physical pain. Dogs are masters of stoicism, but the upward propulsion required to clear a standard mattress places immense torque on their joints, meaning a subtle reluctance to jump up is often the earliest detectable sign of osteoarthritis or hidden joint deterioration. The second warning takes place inside the brain itself. Veterinary neurology shows that 35% of dogs over 8 develop canine cognitive dysfunction, the biological equivalent of dog dementia. As this disease systematically destroys their spatial memory, the dark bedroom transforms from a sanctuary into a disorienting labyrinth where they lose their sleep routines and can no longer process the soothing scent of the person lying beneath the blankets. When an aging dog steps away from your bed, they are not rejecting your affection. They are silently asking you to turn on a light and guide them back home. When you put all of this biology together, that heavy, sighing weight at the foot of your bed ceases to be an inconvenience and becomes something sacred. Tomorrow night at 2 o'clock in the morning, when you find yourself balanced precariously on the edge of the mattress while a snoring ball of fur occupies the dead center, take a moment to look at them in the dark. They did not end up on that specific corner of the blanket by accident. Out of every person, smell, and option available to them, their re-engineered brain calculated the geometry of the room and decided that your side was the only place where the world couldn't hurt them. Drop a comment below and tell me, what percentage of the bed does your dog take up tonight? And once you type that out, look closely at the shape of your dog's eyes the next time they stare at you across a room. Because the neuroscience behind why dogs gaze into human eyes is tied to an evolutionary trick even more mind-bending than the one that put them in your bed.